Hello, everyone. I'm JeanClaude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this special report, Siege of Ottawa, Freedom Convoy special updates. Of course, you can find my co-host, Janine, at Sending Ravens here on YouTube, and also here on Tarot by Janine. Janine, welcome back to the show. You look very festive tonight. What's going on?
Calling in trouble. You got to watch my Tarot by Janine to know what I'm talking about. But I like to manifest by physically doing things towards my goal. And my goal is I'm going to Mexico real soon. I'm done with this.
I was going to say you have a very Caribbean vibe going. Love it. So is this a solo party? Are we all invited? What's going on? What's your dream?
Come on down. I don't know. Let's all go to Mexico. I absolutely love it there anyway. So
yeah, that's really cool. Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us here tonight on this live interactive show. And who knows, maybe in a very near future here, we will be providing you with some dates and locations to a destination down south. I mean, most of us here who have been locked up over the last 2 years are just itching to feel the sand between our toes and the sea, of course, and the sea air in our hair. So I'm excited about that. Janine, do you want to give the audience a little bit of a snippet of what's in this video and why they should go check it out?
Well, I did. I looked at February. I know I was a little late, but we've been busy here in Canada.
Have we?
Yeah, we're kind of busy. So I looked into it, and the biggest, like, the universe speaks differently than egos speak, right? You got to remember that. And I'm coming from the universal energies when I'm using cards, and the universe said the most exciting thing, according to the universe, about February was the coming together of people. And if you really look at what's going on with this convoy, no matter where the original idea came from, and even if it was planted by the deep state or the dark cult or whatever, they've taken it on and turned it into something really quite positive. So that's what I've been getting in my cards, is that it was originally already thought of or seen ahead of time by the bad guys, but it's one of their plays. But the truckers took it and made it something different altogether. They made it into a convoy of freedom and love. There's pictures today of people holding hands and singing, and there's all kinds of cooking going on the street, even though it's like so cold here, and they're handed out food to just whoever needs it. And yeah, it's a lot different, obviously, that it's being portrayed. So they took another one of those dark essence sort of ideas or whatever that were going to crumble our society, and they turned it around on them. That's what we've been doing for the last 2 years. We've been taking all of their little sneaky tricks and turning them around on those guys. And that's why I was getting those kind of things.
Well, it's definitely the case. I mean, just being in Ottawa and feeling that sense of unité nationale in French, or that national unity, bigger, stronger than ever before. And perhaps even the wet dream of most politicians who've tried to accomplish this over the last number of decades. So you're absolutely right on that. And speaking of February, so you hinted out a little bit here how February is going to transpire in this episode. So I do recommend guys go check it out at Tarot by Janine. But that brings us also to this last Astro Woo Finance that Janine, Julie, and I produced here for the month in February. And of course, today we are February 2nd, 2022. So all twos here today. And that relates also, interesting enough, to all this 222 business that Richard, the woo-woo dude, and Jason Four were also talking about. Julie was kind enough to produce this chart for the last Astro Woo episode. And we talked about this US Pluto return and how it would affect, of course, basically, not just the United States, but the whole world in terms of the world reserve currency, its death, and its rebirth. So finances are absolutely a big theme here for the month of February. If you want to go check that out, please do go to beyondmystic.net/pay-per-view, and you're looking for this Astro Woo Finance. And in order to get the maximum out of that, also, please consider getting your own personalized birth chart here so that you know your two signs, the ascending sign and your sun sign, so that you get the maximum out of these amazing readings from both the astrology standpoint and the tarot tarot for your month of February and how your finances are going to be affected. So anyways, to get that birth chart, you can get it at maisonjupiter.com, and you're looking for it here in the boutique section. And don't forget to use Beyond Mystic, the coupon code 10%. All right. First things first. I wanted to say a big thank you to everyone. Janine, this episode that Julie, you, and myself produced live from Parliament Hill so far has the most comments we've ever had on any of our videos since you and I have started this production over a year ago. We have over 2,000 comments and replies on top of that. It's just absolutely amazing. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone who watched the episode, who shared the episode with everyone, because of course what is being portrayed in the mainstream media is absolutely the opposite of the reality on the ground, as Janine, Julie, and I showed you. So you commenting on that and sending that clip to your friends and family, it goes a long way here into maybe waking up some of our friends who are still watching mainstream news and who perhaps don't know how absolutely amazing what is transpiring right now in Ottawa absolutely is. And so a big thank you to all of you, and a big thank you to all of you PayPal tip jar donators. Again, it's what makes it possible for Janine, Julie, and I to do these episodes for free. Unlike the mainstream media, who received over $600 million from Trudeau just a couple of months ago, we don't get any of that. So it's all just us, our own equipment, going to Ottawa on our own dime. So you in the PayPal tip jar absolutely make a big difference, and we thank each and every one of you. And this is why tonight we are giving away another amazing pyramid here from Ascension Organite. This is from Carla, and let's see what Carla has to say. This pyramid tonight is named Kelly. So let's play that clip now.
Hi everyone, this is Carla from Ascension Organite, and today I want to show you the beautiful Kelly. So Kelly has to be one of the most popular pieces in the shop right now. She is made of white quartz crystals and aluminum metals. So as you know, white quartz is known for a lot of properties: a master healer, great for clearing, healing, protection, all of it. So Kelly has very teal blue colors, and other than calling to the throat chakra, she's also a very calming piece. So I think of her as calm, relaxed, tranquility. So she'd be great to place anywhere where you need those things, or where you feel like you have to call those energies. I'll give her a quick turn around so you can see her.
Beautiful.
And there she is. That's the beautiful Kelly.
That's a beautiful Kelly. Thank you so much, Carla. And if you guys want to put your hands on one of these amazing creations, you can now find Carla at ascensionorganites.com, her new website. She's moving away from Etsy to better serve you, the audience. And again, there also, if you use the coupon code BeyondMystic, you'll obtain another 10% off of these amazing creations. Janine, what do you think about this one? I love the color.
I love it. Yeah, those are gorgeous colors. Just beautiful. I can see why it's so popular.
Carla sent us an email today saying that there was a viewer who wanted to get you, Ashley, and myself a pyramid. So they're working on that behind the scenes, and they're going to surprise us with something, apparently. So I'll keep you posted on that. And a big thank you to whoever you are in the viewers for that. We can never have enough Ascension Organites pyramids in our homes. Absolutely love that. Okay, where do we start tonight? I want to start with finances. We'll get into the Ottawa thing. I know it's the title of this show. Everybody's excited about that, but we can't keep our eye, or we can't not keep our eye on the ball here. There's a big change happening, of course, in the SWU. We talked about February. Janine just mentioned why February is important here too. But what's coming up in the news right now is this story in Lebanon here, who's planning to see 93% of his currency slide. And so they're trying to basically take their foreign exchange to rebuy their dollar. A lot of analysts are saying that perhaps that's a mistake. They should probably try to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, probably gold and silver to save their population here from this complete hyperinflation. On top of that, we're seeing in the EU today, well, this is Turkey. It's been ongoing. And of course, he just fired his chief central banker here for saying the truth about the inflation. You can't have that in Turkey, apparently. But here, Canada, also, the Bank of Canada now, the governor is saying that he's very concerned about the inflation here. And he's wondering how these numbers are going to come back down. Again, I'm saying, no shit. Maybe you should get some more silver. And finally, in the EU right now, Christine Lagarde is also now saying that, hey, the Eurozone is in free fall. 19 countries hit record inflation rates. Again, all of this has been predicted. If you've been watching our Astro Woo or the Beyond Crypto Woo reports for the last couple of months, you knew this was coming and you're preparing for this. But for a lot of your friends and family, this is still obfuscated from them. Even though these are mainstream articles, they're not repeating that 24/7 on the mainstream news. So let's start there, Janine. What are your thoughts reading these news articles? How close are we in your estimation here to hitting that hyperinflation curve, maybe here in Canada? What are anecdotal evidence do you have? And then I'll ask you a few questions here for the cards and for the audience.
Well, that February look I did today, actually another one. So one of the highlights was the coming together. And then when I did the Zodiac, the strongest two cards were in the finance. Once again, we get really strong cards in the financial, where we're going to come out better sometime this year and not worse off. So that tells me there's something going on the back channels that is going to save us from the free fall, and that everything's going to change, because it keeps coming up that something more substantial backs our dollar and or our currencies. It keeps coming up, pentacles, and we know it's paper right now. We know it's not pentacles. It's bankrupt. We know the fiat dollar is bankrupt.
Okay, very good. And when you say it's going to be backed by something, any guess as to what that could be? You and I might have been talking about it for months also. Yeah. What's it going to be backed with?
Yeah, so metals. So like a variety, but in particular gold and silver.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm picking up with those coins, right? The pentacles.
Yeah. Let's pull some cards here for the audience members who are seeing that, because they're wondering, oh, maybe I have still time to prepare. Maybe I can wait a little bit more. I don't know what I'm doing with my finance. I haven't really studied this. Let's talk about hyperinflation. Let's pull from the cards here what timing perhaps Canadians and North Americans have before this, what we're seeing in Europe now, hits our shore. So how much more time do these people have to maybe take that paper out of harm's way and put it into other assets, whether those are gold and silver, and perhaps the right cryptos? What's the timing here for that inflation tsunami to hit our shores?
So in the background, things have already progressed to like the fiat dollar's death. Right. So it's already they're keeping it a secret and or fake. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're faking it that it's somehow still operating, but it's absolutely not. So what we need to do is quickly move in a positive direction somewhere safer.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly, right? And yeah, I'm telling you, every time I look, there's more abundance in our future, not less. So it's fascinating.
Absolutely fascinating. And guys, speaking of abundance, this is also why Janine and I are giving away some abundance to you, the audience members. Here on the Canadian side of our audience, we're giving away a 100-ounce Royal Canadian Mint silver bar. No purchase necessary. You have to be 18 and older to apply for this draw. We will be announcing the winner on February 9th, 2022. We might have a special guest for that. So just check out that form at Silver-Canada on Beyond Mystic. Let me bring that link down below. And it's also in the description box below if you're looking for that live. And finally, also here for our American counterparts, same form applies. Again, we'll be announcing the winner. Here is the 100-ounce PAMP Swiss Mint silver bar. And again, the links are in the description box below. If you guys are looking for precious metals in your hands, you can check out the Miles Franklin specials afforded to the Beyond Mystic audience here tonight. You can find that at beyondmystic.net/silver. There you're looking at the 90% constitutional silver, or what people call junk silver, at $5.99 over spot. A really cheap price compared to a lot of other dealers, both in the States and here in Canada. Of course, this junk silver is nowhere to be found. So if you can get your hands on it, now is perhaps the time. And also the 2022 Noah's Ark silver coins are also on special. So please do go check it out at beyondmystic.net/silver. And for you Canadian audience members, we haven't forgotten you, our new affiliate program here at mfbullion.ca. There you're looking again at the Philharmonics at $5.69 over spot. Janine, what's going on in Alberta? the truckers today were push pull with the cops. What do you want to share here with the audience? What you know, and we'll also ask you to pull some cards here on maybe some outcomes and what might be transpiring here in the next couple hours there.
Right. Well, I haven't kept right up to date, like up by the hour, but I was watching it all yesterday, today, this morning up until about 2. And after that, I might be missing some information, but the Coots border, so that's the border of the US and Alberta border, they call it Coots. And they're convoyed there and blocking the border. And of course, the RCMP and lots of special force police officers were up. First, they started negotiating, and then negotiating stopped because they brought word from the premier that the police were backing what the premier was saying, which was get the heck out of there, or we're going to tow you and we're going to, fine you and all these things, all these threats. So they didn't. They stayed put, and the police and special forces, they made a barricade so no more trucks could come. And everybody's seen the video. It's gone viral, I'm pretty sure. But all of these tractors and these farmers, they broke through the barricade. They just went around on either side. Whoop. And,
there's no barricade for a tractor that can go through the fields, right?
They just went over the barricades, and off they went, just hightailing it, and joined the force. Then the tow trucks. So first the tow trucks, everybody was mad because this towing company in Calgary, I think it was going down there, but then they surprised everybody, maybe because people were phoning the company and saying, you better not mess with the truckers. But they went down there and joined the convoy. So it's like, and then some other companies said they wouldn't go. They had the dreaded disease, you know what I mean? That's been going around. The same one Mr. Trudeau has apparently, or his family has contact with. So it's like there's just all kinds of shenanigans going on. So wait,
I thought Trudeau had the coward 19 variant. Is that
that's
okay?
That's it.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Here in this clip I'm showing from Rebel News, also the truckers, in a show of good faith, were going to open up a lane, one of the lanes here, in exchange for a conversation and a promise to remove some of those external requirements for transport and vaccination. So we'll see where this leads. The truckers are being nice here. They're opening up, and these two RCMP officers appear to be taking them at their words here, and they were working together with them. So that I found this clip to be positive. That it's very evident when you watch these clips that the truckers want to work in unison with the cops. They're not there to be confrontational. They're not there to be assholes. We're all in this together, basically, and we're trying to end this once and for all. And this message keeps coming up clearly here from the truckers. So let's start there, and we'll move our way to Ottawa. Is the Alberta government here going to accept the good faith offer of the truckers here and follow through with maybe perhaps even partial removals of these restrictions? Or is Mr. Kinney here going to stand put, as he seemed to be doing yesterday in the news, asking the cops here to go clean this up? So what's going to be happening here in Alberta in the next couple of days?
Something's offered. Something's coming from the government, the provincial government, going to be offered. It's a safe position, so it's not. They're not giving up everything, but they're going to make some kind of an offer. If the guys will, they're going to offer something for something else, obviously. So the negotiations continue tomorrow, and it's so he's been talking about he's going to do this, that, and the other, but I think the response was so bad, maybe in the press and not talking about the mainstream press, but just what they were getting, all the feedback they were getting from Albertans, maybe, because it looks like that caused them to stop and maybe think about what they were doing a little more. So they're going to give something up. It's going to be a certain amount of distance. That's tomorrow. I feel like even when day breaks, we should have heard something shifted already.
Well, this is interesting because in this particular tweet from Jason Kenney, he was saying if current trends continue and pressures on our hospitals begin to ease, if we'll start relaxing COVID restrictions. And when you go and look into the details here, he's talking about 2-3 months from now.
Yeah.
And so I was asking Canadians here, too little, too late? I mean, is that what we need here as a show of good faith to respond to our truckers? To me, that sounds a little bit small in exchange, but hopefully maybe the continued pressure here and the public support, the overwhelming public support from Canadians might change Jason Kenney's mind here in the next couple of days. So that remains to be seen. Now, what was interesting also on the political front, let me see if I can bring this news article up. Today, Mr. O'Toole got the axe. So he was, of course, the leader of the Conservative Party here in Canada. There had been rumors since the last election that the party wanted to maybe remove him, but nobody had really acted upon it until just now. Now, what I'm understanding, reading the tea leaves, and I'll say it that way, the Conservatives here smell the blood in the water, so to speak. They know that Trudeau is very, very weak right now. It could be a matter of days. It could be a matter of weeks. But they want a stronger leader here to perhaps capitalize on the downfall here of the Liberal government led by Justin Trudeau. So today they kicked Erin O'Toole out. They've announced a few names here as interim leaders. I believe most likely right now the deck of cards is slanted towards Pierre Poilievre as the next leader. That remains to be seen, however. But let's talk about that. What is the strategy here behind the Conservative Party? Will they use this removal of O'Toole to also perhaps completely tweak and massage their language against or around COVID-19 restrictions? Is this a tactic also for them to soften up that language with the removal of the leader? What's going on?
It's absolutely a tactic. And I'm going to say a tactic because they've absolutely been just as bad as far as I'm concerned. They're right on board with all the stupidity that's been going on in the country. So they're going to just utilize the weakness. Like you said, the sharks circling, for sure. That's what they're doing. And they'll just tweak a few things, what they say. So appear like they're more friendly than Trudeau's bunch. Okay. That wouldn't take much to appear better than Trudeau's bunch right now. Yeah. Right. But in the past, they've been right on board with all of the insanity. So they're also globalists. So I don't trust those guys either.
Well, that remains to be seen. That's the point. If they have the fear of God from the populace in them, they might start telling the truth and actually work for the people. They might. I'm cautiously optimistic. Of course, this is politics. And you saw the organizers from the trucker rally not wanting to associate with any party because I think the woman said, quote unquote, that's why we got into this trouble in the first place. So we don't want to have to do anything or to be backing any political party whatsoever. We're standing for freedom and truth and the removal of these mandates. That's clear in their message. So good on them for that, to stand strong there. For a little bit of humor, folks, please do go check out our friend here, JP Sears, on YouTube. You can find him on Instagram as well. He did an amazing video here on the Canadian trucker situation. Absolutely funny.
He summed it right up.
I know. And with so much humor, I just love him. So guys, go check out this video. I can't play it here. I don't have his permission, but go check out that video. It's absolutely amazing. Now, speaking of Mr. Trudeau and perhaps more political nightmares or troubles on his doorstep, let me see if I can bring this last article up here. Where did you go? There was another interesting one about, where'd you go? I had you there for a second. This one here. We won't get into too much of these details here, but this talks about maybe some deleted text messages, some conspiracy to maybe remove another Mr. T somewhere from the planet even. And apparently that this information could eventually make its way out to the public here. Let's just leave it at that, but ask the cards here. Is it in fact... in the cards here, so to speak, that this information and that our Mr. T could be involved in such a conspiracy? And could that also tie in to the big revelations that Julie was talking about for the month of September, where we would learn shocking things about how our government was run, how the money was being used, et cetera, et cetera. So could this be one of those waterfall moments here?
I think some of the shocking things that's going to come out around them, this guy, has to do with party substance in little ones.
Mm.
I think it's even schmarmier than that.
Mm.
Despicable. Yeah, but truth is coming out. So truth is coming out. So the cards went straight over here. So let me ask the way you asked it, which was this other situation with that looked like H. Clinton. Wasn't that who he was closing up to there?
Yep.
Okay, so we know which other Mr. T they were after then, if
Yep.
that's the case. Okay.
Yep. That seems to be what's implied in this particular screen grab. Again, we'll watch our language here. But could it be that that also is coming up?
So it looks like they were in discussion about it, going back and forth for sure, and all on the behalf of deep state, because we know they're somehow all laced together, those, all these governments.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all like in the background, they're really just being puppeted by a globalist type agenda. And we definitely know our Mr. T is in on that. And of course, H. Clinton would be also.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. I lost a clip also. I had another clip on my deck 2 seconds ago. Somebody sent me, quite a few people sent me this, so thank you for whoever those were. But some of the police forces in Ottawa seem to be offloading some cube vans of material on or around the Bank of Canada building, and a lot of people were speculating as to what perhaps all of that equipment was. And I say equipment, quote unquote. You and I have talked about in the last 2 weeks the potential for a weird event with a certain flag nomenclature. Is that still in the cards? Is that what we were seeing there, or is that something else altogether? What can the cards tell us about perhaps the intentions behind some of those police forces?
Yep, that's what that was. Interesting, but it feels like, looking at this, because this card's in the middle, I feel like whatever was going to happen there. So I almost feel like they were showing you how they would do it, and they were doing it in plain sight. I feel like it was a unique way to show you how these guys do what they do. So I don't think literally, like, they want you to think the bad guys are in charge, because they need us to stay diligent and be calling them out on these things. This is part of the movie, is what I'm thinking. They want you to believe it was these guys, so they let themselves be seen and filmed.
Wow. Okay. Maybe a follow-up question on that. Actually, before I do that here, I think I have somebody at the door, so I'm going to have to move away from the desk for 2 minutes. Talk about the interview you did with Catherine Edwards today, and why perhaps some of the audience members might be interested in that, and I'll be right back. Okay, Janine? Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, guys. Yeah. So I did an interview like I do every Wednesday morning at my 11, and it goes up about an hour later. So UK time, it's about evening time. It's in her evening, Catherine Edwards. And we do it weekly. We've been doing it for at least a year. And we get some really good stuff. She brings questions from the UK. So it's kind of fun that way, because we get to explore what's going on. Their government's just imploding, crazy business. In fact, Boris Johnson outed somebody in their government who was, he's saying, responsible for covering up Jimmy and that S guy, right? So they're that really big party substance creepy guy in the UK. So yeah, so they're just, things are just going crazy there.
Okay. Very good. I'm back. That was weird, but anyway, so the show must go on. So guys, go check out Catherine Edwards' YouTube channel here. And my friend, J-Snip4 is singing in the background. Knock, knock, knocking on JC's door. Is a big fan of Guns N' Roses. Hey, J-Snip4. And on that note, yes, J-Snip and I will be doing a video next week, Friday. Is that right? Yes, on Friday, the 11th, for the next Wacky Woo. And as far as we know right now, Richard Richard will be in good enough shape, maybe to at least come and say hello for a few minutes with us. But hopefully he's in full shape to do even more if he wants to, of course. So please join me in sending Richard to do some healing energy, and join us for that show on January 11th on the Friday at 8 o'clock Eastern. Okay. Let me see if I can pick up some questions here from the Insider Access Pass. Love you all from Tennessee. Judith, thank you so much. Trigel, can Janine read on the ancient ET arcs awakening around the Earth? That could take some while to set up that question, but what we'll do is just let's have the card read the question by the questioner's, I guess, intention. So they're talking about ET arcs. Ships, stations that might be right now lighting up. We've heard rumors of some of this way back in the 90s, perhaps on the west coast of Cuba underwater. And since then, we seem to be adding to that list. So that's the context of the question. Trigel, what can the cards tell us about these arcs, extraterrestrial arcs that are waking up around the world? That's a great question. And on that note, wait, let me see. Do I have that on the screen? I should have this on the screen. Hold on a second here. On that note, yes. Okay. On February 10th, we're going to have a cool episode here, Janine and I. It's called The Great Awakening with mystery guest and Janine. So we're going to be talking about some of these awakenings on that episode. So that's going to be on Thursday, February 10th at 8 o'clock Eastern. So mark your calendar for that one. Going to be a very special show. Janine, what do the cards have to say?
Interesting. So this is like a revelation card. I mean, when it's well aspected, and it's quite well aspected with this Knight of Cups. So I'm thinking instead of a big catastrophe energetically, it's more of a revelation. So I think they are waking up. I think they have been, or lighting up or whatever. And it's adding some heartfelt energy because it feels like it's part of why there's a coming together, and why this card was the main card for February and part of the reading that I did today. February looks like the coming together and the dissolving of any kind of false pretense that we're all against each other and at our each other's throats. Like I just feel like we're going to dissipate even the idea of racism in the coming months, years. I don't even think that's going to be a thing. I think that was created by the dark cult, what I call the dark cult. You guys know what I'm talking about by that. I think that what's happening and what this person asked about is actually contributing and raising the vibration, bringing light into the world, or bringing a more togetherness, or dissolving some of those things that created that false idea that we're somehow separate. We're all part of each other.
Well, that's interesting. Okay. I'm excited now, Janine. And again, folks, do go mark your calendar for this Great Awakening episode, perhaps even a series with a mystery guest and Janine on February 10th. We're just having fun with you. We're building the momentum behind this one. So join us for that one to see what that is all about. Okay, next question. And then I'm going to go to the PayPal tip jar. A big thank you to you guys again here. And I'll be there in a second. Kim, please ask Janine. My mom passed away unexpectedly a week ago today. Sorry to hear that. Kim, does she have a message for me?
Wow, I got a motherhood card right off the bat. Okay, and then so absolutely has a message, and it's been sending nonstop messages every moment here. So really in contact, like this is like spiritual messages coming constantly from her mother. You better believe it. Okay, let's keep looking here. So there's something stressful around the person that asked that question. I mean, when you lose a loved one unexpectedly, there's all of this unnecessary stress. So she's saying a lot of the things that the person asking the question is worrying about are not the case. Okay, so I don't know what I mean by that, but the person, who asked the question should know what I mean. Likely, by that, and that it's that their time came and they made a contract to leave exactly when they did. So if there's any kind of worry or concern about, did they, is it bad that they left so soon or suddenly, or their soul says they're perfectly comfortable and knew it was coming, maybe not consciously, but on a soul level, there's a comfort there with it. And also the message to the person asking the question is from their mother is to stay listening, because they're heightened intuitive knowing. It's almost like her soul essence, so the mother's and the person asking the questions going to join together. So she joined in the soul wisdom of the person who's left. And it's going to bring a lot more spiritual intuitive knowing, because now it's like they're joined. Like, so she's part of the person asked the question. She'll never leave. There's a part of her always with that person who asked the question. So it's going to heighten your intuitive knowing. And it's almost like another wisdom inside, like whenever you want to touch base, she's with you. She's not leaving you. So it's beautiful. That happened with my sister too. Her wisdom came into me. And when I'm in certain situations, sometimes I think she channels her wisdom in areas where I was weaker. And now I'm really strong in all of those areas too. So this is what's going to happen. I think that the wisdom of the mother is going to be there available to, is it a woman? The daughter.
Kim. Yeah.
Kim. So the daughter. So the wisdom of the mother joins, and she'll be there as a voice inside your heart. Really.
Wow. Well, Kim, I hope that helps. Another question here relating back to those arcs. Can we get a yay or nay or possibility? Somebody's asking, is one of those ET arc ships in Antarctica right now? I'm going to try to get Mars Anomaly back on the show. He does these decoding a lot of these high-res imagery of Antarctica, and he was pulling up something in the last 2 weeks also that looked very suspicious. So I'll try to get him back on the show to have that conversation with you guys. But yeah, is there anything from the cards here coming up from Antarctica from the ET standpoint?
I'm thinking yes, but they don't want to say yes.
Okay.
They want to stay hidden. So they're a little hesitant to tell you anything else. So there's a reason why they're cloaked, or that the absolute knowing is cloaked for now.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. As we were talking about that too, I knew I saw this a day or two ago. And of course, the news cycle is so fast, and I was scrolling by as quickly as I could while Janine was talking. But go check out Cliff's Twitter account from January 21st, and you'll see this another Antarctica puzzler. Fascinating video there. Okay. PayPal tip jar. So let me do that next. And then we have a question about the Queen. Not the Queen you guys are thinking about, but the other Queen. So we'll get back to that in a second. I know you guys are asking. We'll be right back to you. Yeah. Yolanta, this question is for you. Thank you for standing for freedom. First of all, Yolanta, thank you so much for that amazing tip. Greatly appreciated. So thank you for standing for freedom. When will the mask mandates drop for kids in Alberta? Can we get a timeline on the cards for that one?
Cool. 2 aces. So they're absolutely within the month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So right away. Right away. Yeah. Goodness. I would, if I was to hazard a guess, by mid-month, because this card's like a balanced card. So middle of the month. But yeah, sometime in the February.
Yeah. Okay. I just got struck by a question in the live stream, so I'm going to pick it up right now, and I'll go back to the PayPal tip jar in a second. So again, a big thank you to you, Yolanta. The crazy toaster might be joking, but there might be something there. I'm aware of ceremony that may have occurred a couple of weeks ago in Ottawa that might have instigated everything that's happening now in the downfall of this friendly neighborhood, whatever you want to call them. But let's ask the question, is there an arc ship over Ottawa? Is there an ET influence there right now also that might have arrived a couple of weeks ago?
So we got a yes.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're working with the Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, working with the Alliance. And a lot of what's going on has something to do with their energy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are asking, and I don't know if you've heard this, there's rumors flying around, and you know how bad guys can plant bad stories about people's past. That's what I kind of been attributing it to, but a lot of people are saying Pat King's a bad guy. He's connected to the dark side and whatever. Do we want to ask about that?
Sure.
While we're here, because I've
Sure.
been non-stop bombarded with people writing me. And I don't feel that in my guts, but I've even talked to him on the phone personally and stuff. I don't feel it, but let's have a look.
Wow.
I mean, those bad guys are pretty tricky, right? Okay, so I'm just looking at who's he for? Like, who's he working with? Like, is he for? Is his heart true what he says?
Okay.
Basically, yeah, he is. Okay. Yeah, he's true. That's the feeling I got about him too. That's the feeling I got about him. I think he might be a little naive about social sort of how it works. Like he probably needs a manager like JeanClaude or something to help him portray himself a certain way.
Yeah.
4, 3, and I don't think he's a perfect person. He, might have some rough edges is kind of where I'm going. I'm going kind of immaturity in the public eye, maybe. So not really. So they're finding things on him and then spinning it. And people be aware of that. Be aware of it.
He'd benefit from some media training. Yeah.
Yeah. They could literally plant stuff on these people.
Yeah.
Because of course they got every reason to. Look at how dangerous he is. Pat King, look what he did for Alberta. Look what he did he brought all this awareness to a whole bunch of things to do with the mandates and everything and why it was even happening and what a bunch of BS it was. So they don't like him.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep. Yeah, and again, but also when you look at the mainstream media, when they're bad-mouthing somebody, remember they're playing the player, they're not playing the game, right? So they did the same thing with Mr. T in the States. Now, sometimes there's actually bad characters out there. I agree, but again, fog of war. Use your own discernment. Let's go back to this Ottawa question here. Julianne was asking, so why the ETs? We had a big yes there. Why did they choose Ottawa? Why Canada? What the hell's in Ottawa for them to be so impressive? Were they called there? Perhaps was there a strategic energy, strategic portal opening, or is there something else that the cards can tell us of why Ottawa? Because you remember Cliff thought originally back in October that there would be a shockwave from North America that would lead out into the worlds to end this thing, but he never thought it would be Ottawa. But when he saw the truckers come to Ottawa, he said, oh, wow, yeah, that's it. We're here. So why Ottawa? Why did the ETs choose Ottawa?
This is in the past. So that feels like deals were made. Deals were made in the past. We know they're working with the good, like the human good guys. So the Alliance. So for some reason, they agreed in the past to make it Ottawa, is what that looks like to me. And things have been really tough, that part of the world. I mean, think about what they've been, how much pressure have they put on that area and Montrealers and Quebec and, like they've been pushing really hard there and working really, really hard those guys have taken a lot of the brunt of the worst that's been happening in Canada. That, and of course, the very East Coast. Okay. Right. for some reason, they chose to bring the good part, the good change there. I don't know. Like, it's weird. It's not really giving me a specific. And then we've got 3 of Pentacles and the 8. So the 3, it has something to do with bringing everybody together. It has something to do with, that's a center point. So if you think about geographically in Canada, sort of separates, there's the prairie and then western provinces, and then there's the eastern and going to the east coast. So maybe that's the center. It has maybe something to do with ley lines then, because this is saying it's physically a positive place, physically, literally. So that would have to do with ley lines and
a lot of these Tartarian buildings are of course built on top of these ley lines for sure. Rebirth and relationship. On the date I was thinking about was Venus and conjunct Pluto, so that's interesting. But that 3 of Pentacles also, was it the 3 of Pentacles? What was that card you had? Yeah,
it's a really solid foundation and working together and bringing everybody together, and they've had this in mind for a really long time. So like everything that's happening, it's playing itself out. They knew about this a long time ago. They didn't know exactly how it'd get played, but I think we did the right thing. I think the truckers put the right energy and emphasis on it.
Yeah. So far, so good. Okay. I could do a whole other show on that and why I'm saying that, but maybe for another time, maybe for another world, and maybe for another audience off-world. Anyways, Rachel Simmons. Hi, guys. Love your work. Let me bring that up on the screen here. Hi, guys. Love your work. Of you something, you've got time. Could Janine ask the cards? Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of artifacts in there. I feel like I'm going through a dark night of the souls lately. Am I doing the inner work and cleaning to take the leap forward? I'm feeling a little bit lost. Now, Rachel, she probably represents a large number of people in the audience right now too. We're all going through this dark night of the souls at different level of our evolutionary path, and it all depends on how you are connected with your higher self and how much in alignment you are with your higher self. Julie and I talked about this on the French episode last night. Odyssée Galactique was the title, but let's ask specifically for Rachel, and maybe let's broaden that out to the audience who are feeling the same way here, being a little bit lost in all of these changes right now and what their place is in all of this change.
So that's her right now. So there's a whole lot of stress. So that's intellectually going through all of these but and what ifs, and maybe I'm on the wrong path and what's really happening, and questioning. So a lot of this is not based in what actually will happen. So a lot of it is a wasted energy in the negative. So be careful that you're not wasting too much time intellectualizing, and try feeling what's happening, because your true ancient wisdom's coming forward. You're absolutely awakening to your deep knowing. You're a wise old soul. It feels like there's a reason or something's being handed to you. There's a strategy to get you writing or public speaking on the part of your old soul. Your old soul needs you to recognize you have talents in either public speaking or writing or getting the word out. You know, some people make a blog, that's their way of doing it. Some people get on, I can't write, like my spelling's atrocious and I'm not interested in writing and I can't type. I'm a one finger, so it'd take me forever, but I love to talk. So talking, and I love lives are my favorite way to do it. I'll have to learn how to do that on my channels, but JeanClaude, you do such a great job with the live. So I love jumping on the lives with you, right? So everybody's got a different way, but this person, it's like their soul has in mind something for them to do, and it's getting their wisdom out once they get comfortable with that they even have access to that wisdom.
Okay. What was her name again? Simon? Rachel Simon. Okay, Rachel. Well, I hope that helps. Is there more on the card there? Are you done on that one, Janine?
That was the gist of it.
Okay. Very good. It makes sense. And again, guys, if you speak French and you want to go check out last night's episode, we did talk about this alignment here. This is on Odyssée Galactique, La Résistance. So again, for your French viewers, and for those of you who love that episode and want to see more, the next one is coming up on February 15th at 8 o'clock Eastern. And that one is a series now that we are going to be producing bi-monthly, so twice a month here moving forward as of February 15th. So we're trying to grow that French audience, and so far it's doing really, really well. And I'm excited, even though I'm nervous to do the shows in French. Funny, as a French speaker, I'm the one who's like searching for my words in French now, so I have to kind of switch my brain back and forth while I do these lives with you guys. But having a lot of fun, and of course you can find my co-host here, Julie, at maisonjupiter.com. Okay. Next question is in my chat here. Most of you are asking, let me see if I can bring it. I put a star on it earlier. There's quite a few. JeanClaude, where did you go? This one here, Kristen. Okay, so quite a few of you are asking about Queen Romana Didulot. Apparently she's coming to Ottawa, maybe to remove something from somebody. Okay, first of all, can you recap for the audience? We've done readings on this individual in the past. Let's start there, and then we'll ask the cards. Perhaps the situation has changed, and we'll see what else we need to glean from that.
Okay, so I'll recap all the readings I've done on her. So I started out, I was getting, she was placed by the White Hats, like she said, or the Alliance, but they were testing to see, and they placed a whole bunch of people in lots of different places to see how people would react. So they've been doing this all along. They've been literally analyzing reactions. Mr. T from the US does it all the time. You know, they analyze what is the response. So they're analyzing, are you going to tolerate or put up with somebody just stepping in, saying they're the queen of, and I know her explanation of what's a queen. Okay, I see that. But just the fact that she's calling herself a queen is quite off-putting to a lot of people, including myself. Right? Maybe I'm just not advanced thinking enough to keep in mind what she means by that. Nobody's my queen. Okay, I'm my queen, and everybody's my equal, and I'm not less or more than anybody. So that goes against the grain on me. But I did get, she was put in there, and then she got a little too big for her britches. And I got that they might have separated themselves from her. So I was getting she was on the outs with that bunch, even though she appeared to be doing really good things. So that I stepped away and just didn't talk about her. So let's have a look. Like why not?
Okay. Well, what
I
do the cards? Yeah.
I heard she was in Ottawa. So what do you mean she's on her way to Ottawa? I thought she was saying that she was in there.
Mm-hmm.
No?
I didn't see if she's already here. I just heard also yesterday, before that, she was coming to Ottawa. That's the last report I saw.
Okay, she's coming.
Okay.
She might already be there with that card.
And what's her intent, or what will be her objective?
Yeah, let's see. Did she tone down that big ego of hers? Is she? And not to say Trump has a big ego too. So,
he does?
Sometimes he does. I got a big ego. Sometimes it takes big ego energies to take on big roles, but they got to have their heart in the right place and the intention. So let's have a look. For sure. Hey, Jason4, if you're still in the chat, for some reason I don't have my cell phone with me, and if you texted me, I don't have the questions. So if you're in the chat, send me an email, Joe, to my personal Hotmail, and I'll try to bring it up for Janine. I believe it has something to do with one of your last dreams about people having little roadside fires. But anyways, just email me, because I don't have my phone with me here and I can't see your text messages. So if you're still in the chat, Joe, email me right away. I'll try to get that in before the end of the show. Well, this is her. So she's got the two. So she's looking at from a safe place doing something. So she's looking at doing something or changing the world from a place, a safe place. I don't know exactly what I mean by that, but let's keep looking. And then we've got the Three of Swords. So she sees there's a lot going on she thinks needs changing. So that's true. I mean, that's legit. And working towards, so her intention is to help the world turn into a better place. That's cool. In the past, she was aligned with the Alliance, it looks like, because that's the past. And then we've got that and that. So she's against the bad guys and wants to see justice to the dark cult and the deep state. So that way she's absolutely on board for the good. So I'm not getting she's in a bad place.
Okay.
Okay. So then here, okay, again, she might have issues with how she presents. So we could have issues with, so she, a lot of people take issue with like how she presents verbally, maybe what she writes sometimes, so she's off-putting a little, right? So, you know, so we've got that devil. So she stirs up people's hackles, but that's not going to be good if you're trying to be a leader of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What was that saying from Harlequin in that movie? I could be quite vexing or off-putting. What did she say? Do you know what I'm talking about? Anyways, it's a comic book. Yeah. Margot Robbie. Anyways, it was a funny movie. Okay. I'm still waiting for Joe to send me that text message. Sarah just gave me my cell phone, so hopefully I can get to that. Let me do this French one. I'll ask it in English, but it's a French questioner. He's saying, Bonsoir, JC. Can you ask Janine on the cards? For my daughter, she's making a lot of nightmares recently, and I'm very, very worried about her. What can the cards tell Be Crazy Quebec about his or her daughter, and where those dreams are coming from, or what he or she needs to know to support the daughter? Let's try that. Merci beaucoup pour la question. Ça me fait plaisir. Okay, I have Joe's questions also is going to be next. Okay, I just got your email, Joe. We'll do that next.
So the daughter looks a little bit focused on maybe depressing emotional thoughts, because this card can look at things from kind of the glass is half empty. You know, I'd be good if they were here. I could ask them, is that true? Because there's a couple of other ways I could read that. But feeling a little maybe down, depressed. I mean, think about, I don't know what age group the daughter is, but young people are in a bad position. This everything that's been going on, I can't even imagine. When I was a teenager and a young adult, I had unbelievable, now that I look back, unbelievable freedom. And they have had their wings clipped, even though, and people just keep handing them more and more smartphones and to keep them all in this little box, really. But they don't have the kind of freedom. We used to just physical, literal freedom of movement around. They don't have, like, these last couple of years have been really hard on people. So it looks like maybe some of her dream sequences, you know, resulting from her a bit of a depression or feeling like a little sad about how the world is, right? How the world. Good news is she's got a lot of love around her. She's supported and loved, and that's going to really help her through that. It's going to really help her through that, and she comes into herself and really gets past it. And if it's a job she's looking for, or work, or her worried about her future actually looks really bright and even lucrative and abundant.
Wow.
Yeah. So I feel like she'll come out of this time. She's likely just reacting to intuitively and emotionally to what's going on.
Well, thank you, Be Crazy Quebec. I did actually have this conversation with this gentleman here on Parliament Hill, and we talked about the toll that all this stress is taking on our children, and how our so-called health experts are not even addressing that. So we're seeing more and more kids now. I have a friend who's a school principal also, and he's saying that the kids are exhibiting symptoms of PTSD and anxiety, huge anxiety levels. And again, the kids don't have the vocabulary to explain exactly why, but it's all of this fear. And I just noticed in that picture also, while we were there, we had some very friendly snipers on the roof here taking a quick look at what was going on here the whole time I was there. I was pointed it out today.
Yikes.
A little bit after there. I thought that was amazing. But anyways, this was a nice photo as well. Go check out that clip if you haven't already seen it. Okay, next question. So Be Crazy Quebec, I hope that helps your daughter and everyone else who's in the situation now, having kids, having to deal with all of this stress. It's absolutely heartbreaking for us, the parents, for me included, and that's the conversation I was having with that fellow on Parliament Hill. Okay, our friend Jason Four is saying that he had a dream where in the winter, it was a winter scene, and he had a lot of Americans huddling basically around interstates underneath how do you call them, not crossovers but overpass, huddling over like man-made fires like in cans and stuff like that, but on a wide scale. And so now we're hitting this big snowstorm is coming up starting today into the next 3 days here. We're talking about huge snow, ice, sleet, maybe having to call in the military in a lot of the states here. So he's asking, is that dream going to come true? Does that have to do perhaps with an EMP? Because that was also in the cards, maybe that the bad guys would try to maybe do a blackout situation. So regardless of whether it's a EMP or a blackout of the grid, is that in the cards here where temporarily some people are working and trying to stay warm next to highways?
Okay, maybe. Right, with that Two of Swords. So that's still up in the air, and it's a possibility. So he's seeing one of the things that could happen. This is a really fickle card, so the energies are still not decided or set in place for that to happen, absolutely. But often dreams are your fears, or you're picking up on potential situations. So I'm not getting that it would absolutely play out that way. There's things going on in the background and deals being made. So obviously that storm, that's telling me that it might be, that could be something created, a situation created.
Yeah.
It has to do with the war we're in, right? That's a potential that it could get really out of hand, that storm, and things could go out. But I feel like it's still up in the air if that's going to play out that way. So what a good idea would be is not to focus on that. And to imagine moving that storm, dissipating it somewhat, and sending it love and not fear, and not hyping everybody's fear up. We can change a lot of things with how we think, feel, or believe. Yeah.
Well, very good.
Yeah, just do what we can there, where we're not sitting around stressing about it.
So for the audience members, join us in sending that energy here to dissipate that. But it is also, as Janine is saying, maybe man-made in a sense, and it could also be timed with one of those posts from way back when, quote unquote, the storm is upon us. So energetically here in February, we could very well be there. And as a precursor to the storm being upon us, we also need some media to report the truth. Now, a big movement on that front here today. Lakeside Laura is asking, hey, CNN head, of course, Zucker here, resigning today. Is this a cover story for something else? Has CNN been, in fact, taken over? If you look at some of the reporting of this, it's just a girlfriend, he just forgot to mention it, it's no problem. But he's still, at the end of the day, he's no longer chief of CNN, as much as they want to downplay this. So is this a bigger move to perhaps take over the reins of this entity of fear and propaganda?
Yeah, in the background, I think it's largely taken over. We're just not telling you. They've been duking it out with CNN, and I think it's at least half taken over already. And moving in, you're going to start seeing it in a really positive way here, where they start saying things. There's already been some instances, but it feels like it moves in a positive direction right after that. And whatever's going on, it's a spun story. They're just being creative with the story about, I get the guys, and I looked at him in particular on Catherine Edwards' show. We looked at, and what I got was he had made deals, and now he's just, and a lot of this has been happening where they step down right at the time, some kind of appropriate time that works for the alliance team. So I think he made a deal. He's been doing whatever the deal was required on his part, and now he's stepping back now.
Regardless, we seem to be closer and closer here to a changeover in the mainstream narrative, and this could be one of those big stepping stones towards that effect. So thank you, Lakeside Laura, for that question, and everybody else who was asking. We're already 3 minutes over our time slot. Jim Sattery, his question is, let me see if I can read that correctly. Silver predictions. Okay. Just to be clear, I think he's asking about silver, Janine. What does silver look like for the month of January? Let's pick up some cards here on up or down movement. And
you mean February?
February, yes. Sorry. I wasn't sure about the months, but I'm sure about silver. Silver seemed to be very clear in the question. I love you, Jim. I'm just having fun, of course. We are all, a lot of us here, very big silver bugs. And of course, that is the question for sure on a lot of our minds. Ocean O'Dell, silver, woohoo, yes.
So we're at the very end of the secret repression of silver, right? So tens are endings. And this is something's been hidden from us, kept a secret. So the whole pricing of silver and how they're keeping it on in this place, trying to downplay it. Okay, they've been doing that. And this is the next thing that happens. That's a huge wake-up call to what it's really worth. And that's the abundance card. And that's the 2. So 2 of Pentacles. So 2 of Pentacles. In the next 2 weeks, maybe, or you'll see it go a little bit, and then goes nuts. Right? So it's like it's just literally teetering. It's literally on being taken off the reins, like we've been talking about for quite a while. But it's still absolutely lined up to go huge here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had Jim Holter and Bill Holter and Andy Scheckman on last week, and they were talking about tightness in the market in Europe specifically. And now, of course, we had those news items where Christine Lagarde is absolutely going bonkers here with inflation. So, of course, silver and gold is a hedge against inflation. And if you watch the beginning of their show, you'll understand that tsunami is coming here quickly as well. So that makes sense with your perhaps 2 weeks timing. So again, guys, if you want to put some physical silver in your hands, do it now. BeyondMystic.net/silver are the discounts afforded to the Beyond Mystic audience, and also with our Canadian affiliate at mfbullion.ca. Janine, last words of wisdom. We might have to do a show this weekend. I'm thinking there's a lot that's going to happen. Maybe on February 3rd or 4th, you and Julie were talking about that during the last live stream on Parliament Hill, how that was absolutely a big crucial date that starts tomorrow, that window. So we might have to come back and do a reporting. There's somebody in the chat says, JeanClaude looks tired. Yeah, it's been a hard week. Janine and I need a break. We need another vacation. But yes, we're just working our overtime with all of this going on. But thank you, everyone, for your support and your patience. So Janine, you're going to Mexico and relax. I'll be joining you. Yeah, words of wisdom or anything we should know here in terms of the next couple of days on the radar for us.
Ace of Swords and the three of Pentacles and the Ace. So Ace of Swords, so really big communication, or something communicated to us that really lets us know, okay, this feels like the financial. We got maybe a really big where it gets outed that there's this financial system in place. Maybe there's a really big outing of that here. Okay, something we've been waiting for a long time, but it really goes a long way to in the background, this is a universal change and it's been planned. I think there's a spiritual karmic reason why this is all happening. And it's like with that temperance, there's a softer landing than I know. I talk about this a lot, and it's a lot different than there's a lot of really wise people out there predicting could be really rocky, but I got a feeling it'll be slightly sweeter than that. Not saying it'll be perfect and there's going to be rocky times, but yeah. Oops. Rufus.
Hey, there's the cat.
That's Rufus. Decided to trotting over. Yeah, I'm thinking we got some big financial change coming. That's really
well. Just look on the screen. Just look on the screen, Janine. You and I have been reporting this. We talked about Africa last year. We talked about Venezuela. And we said how this cancer was going to come out from the periphery and then get closer and closer and closer until we got here. And it's now here in Europe. This is in your face now. It's in mainstream news. Again, please don't ignore it. I don't want to tell you what to do. But this tsunami of inflation is, in fact, rolling and rolling hard and gaining momentum. And you still have time to educate yourself, I think would be the first recommendation there, is educate yourself on some of the small moves you can make right now to be on the right side of this curve. And I think that's what's important, whether that's precious metals, crypto, or whatever else, whatever is good for you. You need to be thinking about this now and maybe not procrastinating. Every time we pull cards on this, we always get that procrastination card that those people need to at least educate themselves. So hopefully Janine and I have enabled you to glean some of that information so that you can take the proper decisions for the safety of your family and your hard-earned wealth. So that is our one of our missions here on this show. So a big thank you for everyone joining us here tonight. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe here at JeanClaude at Beyond Mystic 3. And of course, you can find my lovely co-host at Tarot by Janine here on YouTube at 138,000 and growing strong. Man, I love those numbers, Janine. That's amazing. And also here at Sending Ravens at 84,000, almost 85. Guys, go, let's go bump her up over 85K there. Let's do that tonight. Sending Ravens. Let me bring that link down so you guys can click on it. Just go and subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, this was Siege of Ottawa. Freedom Convoy special updates, and we might be again here in the next couple of hours or days. Who knows? We'll do our best to stay on top of this situation. I'm JeanClaude BeyondMystic. Merci beaucoup, Janine, and thank you so much to my line producer helping me with all the questions in the background. You are absolutely amazing. I love you guys. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.